Hey dude, with all this talk about plasmoids in the sky, a lot of people have been asking us to try and go ahead and explain what they are. Do you think we can do that? I can definitely try, but something so complex in my mind doesn't come out simply. In other words, I'm autistic as fuck. But here we go. The best way to explain what a plasmoid is by looking at the sun. On a massive level, the sun is a plasmoid. Let's back up real quick to elementary school to the four states of matter. Okay, so you're talking about solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. Exactly. Everything within the sun is technically plasma, superheated gas where atoms have lost their electron. And because it's such at a massive level, it actually creates its own magnetic field around it. But all these plasmoids people are claiming to see in the sky aren't nearly as big as the sun. What gives? Well, that's the very interesting thing when you get to the more intricate workings of how plasmoids work. In some instances, it's theorized that a galaxy is technically a plasmoid. But then there are plasmoids that are only 10 centimeters big, such as the ones we create in our own laboratories. And what's even crazier is the size isn't necessarily exclusive to the power that's actually within the magnetic field. Let's give a visual example. The shape of a plasmoid, a lot of people think, is like this ball of yarn. But in all actuality, it's more like this. A flatter type of thing. The best visualization I could give you, I don't have one, is a donut. Everybody's seeing this in the sky from different angles all around, when in reality, it's more shaped like this wrapping around itself, like a donut. So here is a two-dimensional figure that I can show you within movement that explains what I mean. As you can see, in moving, it looks like it's a ball, but in reality, it's more of a donut revolving around an axis. Okay, I'm following you. But explain this. There was a drone that flew up to one the other night and just fell right out of the sky when it got real close. Why's that? Well, knowing what we know so far, and that plasmoids are virtually stars, so to speak, what would happen if you got too close to the sun? Oh, the radiation would fry my internal configuration and I would literally just cease to exist. Precisely. And that's why people that show up to these crashed drones when they get too close to these things have been known to wear hazmat suits. Because again, plasmoids are like stars. Stars give off radiation. Radiation tends to fry things, especially electronic. That's why if you were to approach the sun, the closer you get, the hotter it gets, of course. But before you get close enough to even quote-unquote melt or burn and to cease to exist physically, your internal organs would shut down. Now, in my opinion, the craziest thing when understanding plasmoids is they would help us understand black holes and technically, quote-unquote, what a wormhole would be for interdimensional travel. Oh, sweet, so these things are in the sky because aliens might be visiting us? I mean, technically I can't disprove that theory, but in my opinion, no. Well, shit. So there's more so a logical, earthly explanation for these things? Unfortunately, yes, for you, but for me, it's actually very interesting. The sun has had a bunch of coronal mass ejections going on the past 6 to 10 weeks. I'm talking about a lot more than we typically see. And within those CMEs are actually plasmoids. And we know that the Earth's magnetic field is slowly starting to deteriorate for numerous reasons, and I will not go into that because we could go on and on for days. So simply speaking, these plasmoids could be existing high up in our atmosphere and skies simply because the sun is shooting off CMEs, our Earth is slowly dying on the outside, and maybe, because as far as physics go it could explain it, these plasmoids are forming in the higher parts of our atmosphere, coming down to the lower parts, and then dissipating. Well, damn. Is there any chance that it actually could be aliens? Again, it could be. I'm no physicist. I just know things. And what we know about plasmoids is theoretically they could be used for interdimensional travel or a byproduct of doing such things. And they're also known to kind of be sentient. They come down, such as ball lightning, that's another example, and they interact with certain things physically and then all of a sudden disappear. I don't know. But what's crazy is we're not getting any answers from our government. People are freaking out. And I think this really just goes to prove that we're always going to be in the dark no matter what. So we need to do our own research and figure things out ourselves because we're never going to be told shit.